All right. Hello, everybody. Guess it's a good time to get things going. Welcome to the start of the RTA in Japan marathon, hosted yearly live in Tokyo. They're going to be closing out the end of December here with some awesome speed runs. We're watching the English restream hosted here on Speed Gaming, and it looks like they're pretty much going to be having restreams for all the runs, so pretty cool. But anyways, I am Sloters. Our first run here of the marathon is going to be a Super Metroid max percent GT code race between susreime and hypo.
あ、そうか、なんかちょっと二人でちょっと変えてやってみたいです。
This category, it's not super popular. It's sort of gotten some popularity in the past few months after a few runners kind of created it, and it's gotten a little bit of attention. For those that don't know what the GT code is, in Super Metroid, there is a developer's code that was left in the game, which we think is some sort of debug mode that the developers used. Essentially, if you enter the Golden Chorizo or GT's boss room holding only the face buttons A, B, X, Y, and nothing else, the game automatically gives you a set amount of energy tanks, ammunition, as well as all of Samus's power ups, excluding Screw Attack, which is right outside the room, anyways. So basically, they give you a sort of 100% item loadout minus the ammo and energy. And we're going to use that code during this run in order to complete things very quickly. You might be familiar with GT Classic, which is sort of a any percent version of using this GT code to beat the game. But what we're actually going to be doing here is max percent, which in this case is 135%. And the way we can accomplish this is by getting the bare minimum amount of energy and ammunition going into the GT room, which is no energy tanks and only one of each ammo pack. And then after enabling the GT code, susreime and hypo are going to be picking up all of the ammo packs before they complete the game, which will end up being 135% by the end of it. The reason why I specified the bare minimum amount of energy and ammo is the way the game counts major items like your suits, beam upgrades, and all that kind of stuff towards the item counter at the very end. It just checks to see if you have the items in your inventory. It doesn't actually count how many times you've acquired them. So the runners are going to be getting all the major items from the GT code pretty much, so there's no need for them to pick them up after they turn on the GT code. It won't change the percentage. And also picking up those major items before putting in the code also won't affect the percentage as it gets set to 53% every time after you put in the code. So to put it simply, they want to pick up as little ammo and energy as possible, activate the GT code, and then pick up all the other ammo and energy that they didn't grab. But anyways, susreime and hypo are getting started here, starting off at Series Station, like in every Super Metroid speedrun. After damaging themselves down on Ridley to start the sequence, the escape sequence, they're now going back through the station with a bunch of steam and falling tiles everywhere. As you can see, a lot more hectic. Both of them having a little bit of trouble getting through, but successfully made it off of the station or heading over to Zebes now. Looks like Hypo getting a slight lead on susreime. I'm not 100% certain the routes these two are going to take. There's basically two main routes. One, sort of the new route, is skipping the gravity suit before activating the GT code, which requires a very difficult wall jump to get into lower Norfair. It's sort of the more traditional route that gets gravity before the GT code that I'm pretty sure they're both going to do. That route also has a lot of interesting things you can do with the route, depending on what major items you want to get leading up to the GT code. I think susreime is probably going to show off some cool tricks in that regard. For those that don't know, susreime has had the world record for a very long time in this category until recently, when that route change was discovered with skipping the gravity suit, which saves a good, I don't know, maybe it was like 5 minutes or something on the route, 5 or 6 minutes. So I don't think he's messed around with the new route yet. So we're probably going to see the old route from these two. So like every Super Metroid run, we're going to start off with the morphing ball, which gives us the ability to morph into a ball. And we can go through these little morph ball passages, which will lead us right to our first ammo pack, the missile pack. This is the only one we're going to get until we put in the GT code. With this missile pack, we can now open up the red or pink doors, as you can see in susreime's screen right now. It'll take 5 of those missiles to open them up, so that's all we're going to get for. And after picking up these initial items, now the planet is awake. The space pirates know Samus is here, and they're now going to be filling up all the hallways and passages we've been through already. So you'll see both the runners having to kill some pirates along the way in order to progress through these rooms quickly. Both of them doing a really good job with the wall jump climb. Just mainly sticking to wall jumps on that right wall and shooting the enemies above them as they're climbing. Now susreime is going to use his new missile pack in order to open the first red door here, leading to, oh no, and he missed a missile, so he has to go back and farm an extra one. Does get one off of one of those bugs. And now he is into the bomb Terizo room, Golden Terizo's little brother. This guy's going to give us the Morph Bombs upgrade, which allows us to lay bombs in Morph Ball, which can open up new passageways. It's also, like Golden Terizo, a little mini boss fight. What these guys are going to do are fire 5 P shots into them and then farm his little egg bomb attacks to get missiles. And if they do it right, like susreime just did, then they'll get a quick 1 round. I don't think Hypo got one, but still pretty fast. Now they're going to do another little trick called Alcatraz, where instead of using their new bombs to break these blocks to the right, they're just going to wall jump up here and morph back into the tunnel they came in through. So with the bombs, we can now get on the left side of Criteria and head over to Green Brinstar, but both of them are going to be skipping this energy tank. You actually don't need to pick up any energy tanks to get to Lower Norfair, provided you have the correct suits. And we can't pick up any more energy than we need, or else it's going to decrease our item counter at the very end. So very good that both of them skipped it, otherwise that would be a reset. And susreime doing a little sequence break. We'll see Hypo do the same thing using the mock ball technique. Allows them to retain their running speed in their morph ball form, allowing them to slip under those gates, which normally require the speed booster. giving them a early super missile pack, which lets them skip the spore spawn boss fight. And again, this is the only super missile pack they're going to be able to obtain until they can enter the GT code. Spore spawn you normally fight at the top of this big pink room susreime just cleared, but like I said, we do not need to fight spore spawn since the reward for that fight is the super missile pack that would normally get you out of this room. And Hypo actually going to pick up the charge beam. Susreime skipped it, but like I said, major items like the charge beam don't actually count towards they count towards your item percentage, but because of the way they're counted, it doesn't matter if we pick them up now or just get them from the GT code later. And Susreime is doing a very difficult variation of this route. So what I anticipate Hypo to do is to go down Red Tower. Susreime actually goes up, and he's gonna have to do a series of difficult bomb jumps in order to get across the moat area and avoid picking up a missile pack that is very inconveniently located at the center of the moat. So he's going to pick up the first power bomb pack here, which is going to give him access over to the wreck ship area. And as you'll see, in the moat room, there's a missile pack sitting in the very middle of the room, surrounded by water. And without any other items like speed booster or space jump that can let him essentially fly over the missile pack, he's going to have to do a lot of bomb jumping to both get over the moat and over that missile pack. So he's actually taking a save here, which is a really good call. If he messes this up and hits that missile pack, then he'll have to reset. And as well as the fight he's going to do is pretty difficult. Phantoon, oh, now he's going back down. So maybe he's getting X-ray now. I'm not super familiar with his route, so I'm sure there's a good reason for doing this. That's another good reason to save if he was planning on coming to this item earlier. This is a very dangerous room with this little amount of equipment. Oh, Owl correcting me. He's going to be doing a trick called X mode. It's not something I'm really familiar with, so maybe someone in chat can enlighten us a little more. But while he's doing that, let's talk about Hypo. He just decimated Kraid, picking up his various suit. Again, picking up major items like this doesn't matter before activating the GT code. And what Hypo's going to be doing is using that various suit to travel in the heated upper Norfair rooms and pick up the speed booster, which will allow him to cross the moat without picking up that missile pack. Oh, Susreime taking... It might have been... Oh, no. Pretty sure that was unintentional damage, but then he does take that hit from the waiver. And fortunately is going to have to go back to his save at Red Tower, which isn't too far back, but that always... But while Susreime catches up, Hypo is going through those upper Norfair rooms with the various suit, not going to be taking any heat damage. Normally without a suit, your health will be ticking down as you go through these rooms. Alright, Hypo now in Bubble Mountain. Without high jump, he has to go inside this room to set up the wall jump. Otherwise, bomb jumping's kind of a slow option. But basically, he needs to get as much running speed as he can so you can make this jump, wall jump to the top, and head over to the back cave. And eventually the speed booster upgrade. Alright, Hypo picking up that speed booster. And again, the reason he wants to get this solely is just so he can get across the moat area without picking up that missile by using a shine spark. Yeah, it's kind of a long-winded explanation why you can pick up items and or ammunition and not pick up, or why you can't pick up items like the major upgrades, but you can't pick up things like ammo. Oh, susreime taking another death. Susreime has been known to do really crazy things in this category in order to have the kind of times he has with his route. So the things he's doing are extremely difficult, and really no one else has tried to do a lot of the routing choices he's done. I mean, this is even new to me from what I've seen. But Hypo now, with the speed booster, his only options for getting back up Red Tower here. Normally, you're supposed to have the Ice Beam to do this, but he can either use bomb jumps, which are very slow, or probably require him to kill some of those rippers, or he can do a Shine Spark, like he just did, to get back up. So now he's back up towards the top of Red Tower, and he can start making his way towards Wreck's ship. This category is very much in the spirit of a 100% run, but we're able to get an extra 35 because of using the GT code. Yeah, it's in a lot of areas it's very similar to 100%, but it's also interesting because a lot of the areas you visit, you'll actually have the full item set of all of Samus's upgrades, whereas in 100% you usually don't have all the items until the very end. So you get to see a lot of different strategies that you normally wouldn't see in other speedrun categories, and really would only see in like randomizer situations. So it's pretty interesting.
ですね。で、ここの池越えのところが、まあ、先ほど言ったチャートで違うところで、ハイポさんの方は今の、ところで、スピードブースターの方で通過していくと。まず1機は行きましたね。79エネルギーが残ってますんで、ただちょっと。
Alright, now we got a nice command in there. I missed it, but Hypo used that speed booster to do a shine spark across the moat, dodging that treacherous moat missile, and is now in the Phantoon fight. This fight under these conditions is really annoying. He doesn't have any energy tanks, so can't really take too many hits from Phantoon. He does have that Various suit, which reduces the damage by half, so he only takes 20 damage on each hit. But with only 5 missiles, using the Doppler strategy here is really obnoxious. Essentially, the Doppler strategy is firing a ton of missiles at Phantoon at a certain rate in order to stun lock him and keep him on the screen. But with only 5 missiles available at any given time, you can't really do an optimal 2-round like you'd see in a lot of speed runs. It looks like Hypo actually deciding to enrage Phantoon on purpose. If you shoot Phantoon with a super missile that does not kill him, he goes into this enraged state where he just sits at the top of the screen and shoots flames down at you in waves like that. And it looked intentional that Hypo meant to do that. It can certainly be a good safety if you're ever in a bad situation with Phantoon, but like I said, with only having 5 regular missiles, it's a really obnoxious fight. But super missiles do actually do 600 damage compared to the 100 damage of missiles, so. And there we go. Phantoon is dead on Hypo's screen. Susreime did get his X-ray. I missed it, but he has it now. I'm sure it was fantastic. And now he's going to be going up to Rex ship, it looks like. And according to chat, he's going to be doing X mode. Some crazy glitch with X-ray. X-ray has a lot of really crazy glitches in this game, but it's going to allow him to get through the bowling area, I believe, without the Various suit. So look forward to that.
この地帯ですね、この池越え。さっきハイポさんはスピードブースターを、時間かけて取って。
Oh, so this is what I was talking about earlier on Susreime's screen. So since he does not have the speed booster, any other good way to really jump over this missile pack, he's going to have to do this bomb jump all the way across the moat. As you can see, it's a very lengthy process. He needs to be very precise with how he lays the bombs, otherwise he's going to fall out of that rhythm and either fall on that missile or fall back into the water and have to start over. But he's doing a great job right now and gets across. Very well done.
本来はプラスのボタンのところにグラップリングビームというやつで引っ掛けてターザンのようにいくところなんですけれども、このように通常テクニックでも強引に切ることができるっていう。
So just like that, Susreime going to be fighting Phantoon soon. Similar situation that Hypo had, but without having that Various suit, he's going to take 40 damage from any hit in that fight. So it's going to be a much more precarious situation for him, but he's very experienced with this kind of fight. So I'm sure he'll also have a successful one like Hypo did. Meanwhile, Hypo going to be picking up his gravity suit, our ultimate reward for completing Rex ship. And I haven't really talked about why we need gravity suit. I'll talk about it when we get there, but essentially it's damage well, not his damage reduction properties, but
お二人の違いなんですけども、
some of the
さんはバリアスーツ
uh,
がないので、ファントゥーンから食らうダメージ
properties it has for moving around in water and lava is going to help us with the trick in order to get into lower Norfair without any E-tanks. And it allows us not to have to do that
これですね、
awful wall jump I mentioned earlier with the new route.
ファントゥーンに近づきながらですね、ミサイルをこう撃つことによって、まあ、通常よりも多く、ヒットさせることができるという技が。
Watching Sue stream, it looks like he's doing a good job. He's at max health right now. Phantoon's looking pretty red, so it seems like he's been playing the fight pretty safe so far. Doing a good job of shooting all the flames out, farming those missiles, leaving some on the battlefield after Phantoon opens up so he can actually get longer Dopplers in. Oh, unfortunately, enrages Phantoon there. He's going to have to be very careful that he doesn't take too much damage from these flames. Alright, he gets through it. Oh yeah, looks like he was 2 missiles short before he shot that super. So unfortunate, had to go through an enrage round there, but manages to stay alive, which is the important part. You might have just noticed hypo breaking the Meridia tube already. It's a little bit faster to do that when you first enter the room from the left side. He'll be going through Meridia later after he collects all the items on the lower half of the.
ハイポさんはすでに取っているので、まあ、必要なものはすべて揃ったということで、あとは冒頭申し上げた GT コードを発動するために、ノルフェアの、ね、奥にある黄金の超人像のボスの部屋に行く状態ですね。
I know susreime is going to do something really cool soon. But let me talk about hypo real quick. So what he's going to be doing is he's going to come up to the big lava pit room, and in order to climb up this lava pit, he's going to use a trick called the gravity jump, where he initiates a jump at the bottom of the pit and pauses just as his jump begins. And in the pause menu, he's going to remove his gravity suit and then unpause. And what this does essentially is it allows him to jump with the speed of not having suitless physics, of just having normal physics. But when he resumes the game, he'll have the underwater suitless physics without that gravity suit, and it's actually going to cause his acceleration or deacceleration to make his jump enormous. So it's essentially abusing some of the underwater mechanics in order to get a really big jump. And susreime doing that X mode trick, don't know what's going on exactly. He's using X-ray and running in place, and now he's in the bowling to read those hands somehow. I'm sure it's a very difficult trick, and it looks really goofy right now.
勝手にやってきました。まあこれで今ちょっとバグってた背景がまあ更新されたので、まあ元通りというか。
So very nice job from both of these runners.
はい。かなりの難所でしたけれどもね、突破していきました。
susreime is going to pick up his gravity suit and can now follow hypo down to lower Norfair. Hypo needs to do another trick we call the green gate glitch. Normally, you're only supposed to be able to open these gates from the other side where that green switch is, but by jumping into the gate in just the right way, you can actually fire a super missile past the gate to open the switch and allow you to get through sort of the back way into the GT area. And unfortunately, hypo, with only 5 super missiles to work with, didn't get it on his first 5 attempts. So he's going to reload his save at the top of the lower Norfair elevator and try it again. All right, Hypo coming up to the green gate again. Let's hope he can get it this time.
さあ再び裏開けですね。開いてくれないですね。
Ah, has to do another reset. This is a really finicky trick. I mean, once you learn how to do it and understand, the inputs for it and all that, it's really just kind of a coin toss if you're gonna get it or not.
揃えているので、サスレンさんの方も GT コードを発動させるためにノルフェアの方に向かっていっています。
But this is giving Susreime
ただここは
a lot of time to catch up, though. He did have the rough start with the deaths getting early X-ray,
あらかじめ
but Green Gate glitch could be a way for Susreime to cut that lead back.
さあセキュリティの厳しいシャッター開いてくれない。
開かないな。
さあそしてサスレンさんの
Another thing to note, though, although with how close they look in position,
ありません。
do keep in mind Hypo did fight Crate already, and Susreime has not. So they're both gonna have to go back over there to get some of the ammo and energy tanks over there, but Susreime does have to do that boss fight still. And Hypo just having a rough go with the Green Gate glitch. Like I said, it's super finicky. Trying to do it in race settings is very stressful, especially with so few attempts on
スーパーミサイル
on each reload.
必要なので今一発しかないので、まあ、どっかで、回収ファーミングしないといけないですね。
Hypo does have the gravity suit. In order to do the gravity jump, he had to turn the suit off, and there's really no point to turn it back on because he's about to get it re-equipped with the GT.
はい、ここで5発もらっておきます。
And as Hypo goes in again for the Green Gate glitch, Susreime is hot on his tail. He's got his super missiles maxed out now. He's ready to do his lava pit attempt. I'll actually be able to watch the gravity jump this time.
ハイパさんの方でちょっとごめんなさい、ご紹介できなかったんですけど、グラビティジャンプと呼ばれる、技ですね。あえてグラビテ
So yeah, he's gonna
ィでこれジャンプ力を、まあ、いわゆる
pause as soon as he initiates a jump, and then take off that gravity suit, and that'll make his jump much higher than normal.
グラビティがちょっと
Unfortunately, didn't get the wall jump up there, and he's gonna have to go refill his health a bit before he can try again. And Hypo getting through the green gate. Now this next door is the GT room, and in this transition, if he holds just those 4 face buttons, A, B, X, Y, you'll see he magically obtains 700 energy, 100 missiles, 20 supers, 20 power bombs, and pretty much every major upgrade in the game. So now at this point, it's pretty much a 100% run, minus all the major upgrades that he already has. So there's a super missile pack up here. You'll also see there's a missile pack to his left. He's actually going to have to go back around towards the elevator and come through the intended way in order to get that missile pack, as there's just crumble blocks underneath it right now that you can't go through otherwise. And it looks like Susreime makes it through the gravity jump this time, so if he can get this gate glitch, first try, he'll be right back in this race.
あとは、回収すべきアイテムを回収して、135% まで集めるということになります。
So you see Hypo going back the way he came. We'll get a little high five from him and Susreime right about here.
道が多少違いますので、まあ多少その回収の順番などはあると思
You might be wondering why we don't just go this way to get to GT's room rather than doing that gate glitch. Um, for one reason, you're going to lose a lot of health in this room if you dip inside that acid, which is pretty tough to avoid with what little items they had. Um, but the real reason is this statue that Hypo's in right now actually doesn't activate unless you have space jump, so they would have no way to go the intended route here to GT's room without having that space jump upgrade. But thanks to the GT code, Hypo has it now, and you can get that missile pack.
ちなみに今一回左側に行ったのはチャージショットを先制攻撃のような形で当てるということで、多くの攻撃を当てるためのテクニックですね。
So, like I said, from here on out, it's pretty much 100% run starting at the very bottom of Lower Norfair. This Lower Norfair section is pretty much exactly the same as you would see in 100%, but you'll kind of see some more max percent GT code exclusive strategies as we get to the other areas where we wouldn't have this kind of equipment normally.
その他の装備品、今まで取ってなかったものもこれ GT コードの発動で全て取りましたので、ここはあえて
So Hypo using the space jump and screw attack to just get through the pillars room, breaking all the blocks in his way. Maybe we'll see susreime do a shine spark to show the other method. But with this gear, having the screw attack, space jump, speed booster, all that, a lot of these rooms we can just run and spin jump through and decimate all the enemies in our path and pick up all the little ammo, all the energy tanks, all that along the way. Hypo's putting the space jump to good use, making amphitheater pretty easy. And now you'll see him come into the key hunter shaft. He's actually going to try his best to kill all three of these key hunters in this room. Reason being, when you lay power bombs, the room lags substantially less if there are no key hunters in this room. It's pretty much an instant explosion when they're all dead, but if all three of them are alive, it's extremely slow. Hypo doing a really great job of running through all those enemies, using his plasma beam to give them iframes and be able to run through them, picking up that power bomb pack and making his way down to the ninja. Hypo making quick work of those ninja pirates, who he had to defeat in order to progress into the next room. Beautiful plower house, getting some running speed at the bottom of the room, shooting up to open the door in front of him, and space jumping through the next room. Now he's going to enter the Ridley fight. He has the full beam combo. It takes only 20 charge shots in order to take down Ridley. So this fight will be over before you know it. The GT code also giving us 700 energy. There's pretty much no chance these two are going to die to this fight. They have a ton of energy to work with. They can be very risky in order to get this fight done fast. Ridley should... maybe needs one more shot and he's dead. I wasn't counting, but yep, looks dead. So that is three bosses down for Hypo. Again, keep in mind, he actually beat Kraid already and got that Various suit early on, where susreime is still going to have to go fight Kraid. Doesn't have to pick up the Various suit, but will take a little bit extra time to do that. Susreime is actually going for a really cool strat here against the ninja pirates where he takes them both out at the same time pretty much rather than doing a 1-by-1. Very nice strat. Oh, he even goes for the spring ball, jumps into the next room. Oh, and he gets it. That's an awesome strat. Lower Norfair is a beautiful section with all the movement items. Oh, it looks like Hypo back in the Wasteland room. Gonna go for a speed ball here. Ooh, didn't get it that time. He's gonna go back and try it again. He's gonna be using that mock ball trick, only this time it'll be blue from his speed booster, and it'll let him break through. Oh, he's not gonna get it. But if you activate your speed booster and then do a mock ball through there, you can actually use the speed booster to break through those blocks instead of having to bomb them. You might be able to see that from susreime. One thing I didn't mention about the plasma beam, the way it works is it pierces through the enemies and can hit them multiple times. It also can give those enemies a pretty substantial amount of invincibility frames or iframes. So what you'll see these guys do a lot is as they're running through the enemies, they'll shoot, and it'll give those enemies enough iframes for a long enough time for them to run through without actually coming into contact with them. So you'll probably see susreime do that a couple times coming up in the Key Hunter shaft. Susreime, is that the correct pronunciation? Well, we'll call him susreime then. I've always been unsure. But anyways, Hypo almost out of lower Norfair now. Needs to pick up one more missile pack here. The old Franker Z missile pack. He'll get through the 3 Musketeers and then be back in upper Norfair where he's going to be doing some item cleanup and give a visit to one of our favorite mini bosses. Oh! Suit. I don't even know what to call him now. Susreime going for that Hotarubi special, doing a speed ball into a spring ball jump, grabbing that missile and breaking the blocks up top, but unfortunately didn't grab the missile pack. But still looked pretty. Oh no. Hypo is going to do a really cool strat. Because he already has speed booster here, you can actually get a shine spark at the end of that hallway and use it to get all the way back. But he accidentally used it, grabbing that missile pack. So he has to reload the room so those blocks on the floor will respawn. So this is kind of the part of the run where we're going to start seeing some strategies you're probably not used to seeing, since we're going to be going into some areas with equipment we normally don't have, such as that speed booster hallway doing it like a shine spark to get back through there. Although the Crocomire area is probably going to look very similar. Similar to 100%. we'll see if susreime can do the shine spark strat. So he needs to shoot out this block. Oh, you might not get it. Manages to not spark up into it, but he may run out of his shine spark timer. Oh, he still gets it. So yeah, there it is, the shine spark. Back up the speed booster.
シャインスパークを発動させるという、そうすると先ほどのように坂道でもきちんと合わせて動いてくれるっていう技ですね。はい、ピクセルパーフェクトです。
Oh, okay, I see. So hypo, he's coming here first to get the cathedral missile pack. I was wondering where he was going for a second, but yeah, he'll want to grab that missile pack before he leaves Norfair. So it looks like he's probably going to do the high jump area next, and then the ice area, and then loop back down to Crocomire. Oh yeah, he'll do the high jump area after Croc. That makes sense.
細かいテクニックでゲートの位置調整っていうものがありまして、画面切り替わる時のこのゲートですね、これは、もしずれてたりするとですね、X 軸 Y 軸ずれてたりすると
So hypo now taking the sort of intended path, Crocomire. We don't really get to see it all the time. Crocomire is a really easy fight with the plasma beam. Like I mentioned earlier, with the piercing properties of plasma, it can actually hit enemies multiple times. And when it goes through Croc, it hits him a lot, which forces him to fall back or start walking back all the way up until he falls into the acid. So very trivial fight in this kind of situation. There's the E-Tank here, and then there's a couple other missile packs and a power bomb pack that they'll need to pick up. But again, they don't need to pick up the grapple beam as they got it from the GT code, which I should probably mention, even though you don't see grapple on either of their screens or X-ray and hypos, they actually have those items and got them from the GT code. But with the way those items work, they won't actually pop up on your screen unless you pick them up in their proper location, or if you save and reload after getting them through the GT code. So don't worry, they have those items.
さっきのがね、グラップリングビームの本来の使い方というか、敵とかブロックに対してね、こう引っかかるっていうやつなんですけど、でここも裏開けをしています。ちょっとね、黒駒屋の演出がまだありますので。
演出出さなかったのは黒駒屋出しちゃうと領地が発生する感じ。
なるほど。そこは画面外に追いやっておくということですね。でこの中で
All right, hypo coming down to the grapple area now. Looks like he's gonna grab the missiles first. Oh, I'm thinking he sells to grapple. I'm thinking like 100%. He's just gonna grab these missiles and then get out of there and then pick up the other missile pack in the cosine room.
こういう裏開けも各所で使われている短縮のテクニックですね。本当になんかスルーしてしまいがちなね、本当に細かいテクニック、もちろんね、大技もいろいろあるんですけれども、非常にこういう、最初から説明したようなね、ムーンフォールであったり。
And hypo getting a shine spark up that tall shaft there. A lot faster than just wall jumping up or space jumping up. And susreime really, not too far behind. Again, he still has to go fight Kraid, which won't be super long, but he's got his work cut out for him. I'd say susreime definitely has more experience with this category in particular. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him starting to close the gap a lot more the further we get in the race, but I think it's gonna end up being pretty interesting. Beautiful mock ball into a spring ball jump from susreime.
あとはグラップリングビームで、アイテムで敵が落としたアイテムですね、こういうのを掴むこともできたり、あとは近距離でゲートを開けるときはグラップリングビームの方が早いというものもあります。なので、割と終盤になって使われてくるテクニックですかね。
Okay, so even though Hypo did beat Kraid earlier, I mentioned earlier there is a missile pack and energy tank over here, so he's gonna stop in here real quick just to pick those two up, and then he'll be out. Whereas susreime will have to fight Kraid and pick up those items. So this missile pack here, blocked by power bombs, just lays one, break the blocks, and you can get through. The E-tank, you need to beat Kraid in order to open that door. Hypo's already done that, so he is good there. And almost got another high five. Seems like we've had a few of those already. susreime does have the benefit of coming through this area with all the major upgrades of the game, so he'll have speed booster for that long hallway. Won't really affect the quick kill much, as you just really need ammo for that. But he'll gain a little bit of time over Hypo's Kraid. Yeah, he's just zooming through there. Hypo moving into Meridia now. The really nice thing about Meridia in this category is you don't have to go to those faraway spots to get plasma and spring ball. You can just focus on all the ammo and energy in this area. So it's a little bit more streamlined, getting all the items here.
Hypo さん、マリーディアの方に突入していて、この辺りで、チャートの方が、収束するような形ですね。大きくな分かれ目は先ほどのクレイドでしょうかね。
Hypo doing a nice shine spark to get up Mount Everest. And he'll head up to Watering Hole now to grab some of the ammo that's up.
といっても別に生存ルートでもないんですけどね。ストーリー上この惑星は
Unfortunately, susreime tried to break the tube earlier, but he left the room a little too quickly, so it didn't actually break. No big deal. He has, way more power bombs than he should have. It'll just cost him a little time to try to open it again. But he's in Meridia now, going to be doing a lot of the things Hypo's.
これはグラビティスーツがほぼ必須のところですね。グラビティスーツがあれば、そういった水中とかを無視できる。ただ、唯一、グラビティジャンプっていうね、溶岩の中を一瞬だけ外してというテクニックがあります。
See if Hypo is gonna try. Yeah, it's cool if you can get a mock ball through that little tunnel, but it's a pretty tough strat. So let's talk about the Meridia bosses a little bit before we get there. With all this equipment, we're going to be able to do some microwaving against Phantoon and Dragon. The microwave is a cute little name we give to a trick you can use with the charge, X-ray, and plasma items. So when you fire a charged plasma shot at an enemy, like I mentioned with that piercing property where it can hit them multiple times and it goes through them and just doesn't dissipate as soon as it hits them. If you fire at one of these bosses with a shot like that, or even normal enemies too, if you activate the X-ray scope while it's in contact with them, the beam will freeze where it's at on the screen, but the boss's iframes will still run out. So essentially, what you can do is sort of um, pause and unpause the game continuously while that charged beam shot is still on the enemy. And with its iframes running out, it'll hit enough times to take out the boss with just that one shot. You can do that with Phantoon, Dragon, and Phantoon as well. And like I said, you can do that with most enemies as well, although you typically won't see that. So what Hypo just did to Phantoon, you'll see a very similar thing with Dragon, and we'll also see susreime do the same.
やっぱ何気ない動作なんですけれども、やはり基本的にはこう意味を持っていると。さあということで、ハイポさんの方はボスのドレイフォンですかね。この辺りから、次の技のセットアップがあるので、今これわざと体力減らしてますね。
Now I think I'm pretty sure both of them are going to be doing this. They're both trying to drain their energy at this point to do a crystal flash later on in the run. And I guess we'll talk about that when we get there. But in order to do a crystal flash, they need to be below 50 energy. And with all the E-tanks they've been picking up, they have like a ton of energy to burn through. So any moment where they can just sort of take damage and not slow them down, they'll take advantage of it, like grappling those turrets in Dragon's room. Because as far as I know, there's no other E-tanks for them to pick up until they get to Wreck Ship. So yeah, like I said, they don't need to pick up Plasma or Spring Ball, so really at this point, they just need to get those Aqueduct items. I think they skipped those so far. And then the items in the sand pits. They probably skipped Main Street too, so they'll grab the Main Street missiles before heading up to Red Tower and Wreck Ship.
サムスが青い状態になってるんですけども、これブルースーツという状態、特殊な状態になっていますね。これによってちょっとブーストの状態を得ることができるので、そのブースト状態じゃないと壊せない。
Oh, susreime. I didn't see if he actually microwaved. I'm assuming he did a little bit, but I actually got a blue suit out of it. He used a Shine Spark to kill Dragon, which for reasons wards you with the blue suit and used it to get a spark back across the Coliseum. Hypo cleaned out one of the sand pits in Aqueduct, so he's going to have to go back around to clear out the other one. So he's going to take the path up the toilet here and sort of loop back over to the Coliseum area back by Phantoon and go through that other sand pit. Unfortunately, you can't just jump into them. You got to go from the top down.
裏開けするかしないかのことですかね。
そうです。
はい。まあちょっとしたこういうルート分岐
Up the John.
まあシャッター裏開け、まあさっき苦労してたやつがあるんですけれども、まあ、それをやるやらないっていうところで、ちょっとしたルートの分岐がありますと。
Yeah, so susreime not going up the John, going back around the other way. Oh, beautiful green gate glitch, running into it. Oh, yeah, susreime. I remember he didn't grab these grab supers earlier, so he gets them now.
ということで、あとは、先ほど言った、体力調整をしつつアイテム回収をするという話で、あ、ここの1フィレジャンプは
So yeah, I believe hypo is good now, other than Main Street. I don't think he got Main Street either.
ここもまあさっきと同じところなので、まあ、丸々状態で少し左右移動して処理落ちを防いでいると。ここ2周目しないとこの砂のところですね、2箇所手前と奥で落ちるところがあるので、これはアイテム回収なので、ここ裏毛のところですかね。
裏毛がな
Hypo, the green gate glitch, not being kind to him today. He's actually just gonna go the other way around. Yeah, like I said, it's a tough trick. It's very finicky. Tough to do consistently, I should say.
瞬時にどっちのルートみたいなね、判断も重要ですね。どうしてもこうなんか時間かけてしまうと、見切りのタイミングというか、撤退のタイミングみたいなところ、やはりタイムが違う。
Yeah, Hypo's gonna go up here. A little easier to get a short charge at this part of the room. Yeah, susreime is hot on his heels now.
本来の用途としては使わない、さっき言った体力調整してるんですけれども、クリスタルフラッシュという。
He's having a hard time getting that short charge there. Giving susreime time to catch up. Who's having trouble with the green gate glitch now. Okay, he gets it. I was gonna say, they need to have at least 10 super missiles by the time they get up to the wreck ship area, so he was gonna have to duck out of that pretty soon if he didn't get it, but he does get the green gate glitch and gets the shine spark, and he is right behind Hypo now. So while they exit Meridia and they pick up a few more items, I'm just going to explain the trick that at least susreime's going for. I think Hypo's going to be doing it too. So what they're going to be doing is backdooring the entrance to gravity, or the exit to gravity, I guess, using a crystal flash and X-ray climbing. So the door they came out when they got gravity is normally always locked, but there's a little trick they can do to actually get through it by using the grapple beam on the ripper that's right underneath the door to sort of wedge themselves into the wall. They can then do a crystal flash inside of the wall, which puts them into a position where they can X-ray climb and actually climb up to where the door transition is to enter that room from the opposite direction. And the reason they want to get back in that room is because there's actually a missile pack and the wreck ship reserve that are in that area. If they didn't do that trick, then they would have to go through the whole bowling sequence again, which is pretty lengthy sequence that they would like to avoid. So as you can see, susreime has been doing a really good job of taking damage wherever he can in order to get his health down, to that below 50 range so he can actually do the crystal flash, he needs to have 10 missiles, 10 super missiles, and 11 power bombs in order to initiate it. So he just needs to lose a little bit more than 100 energy, which he'll get easily with a Shine Spark across the moat and West Ocean area, and then he'll be able to show off this trick for us. So yeah, we'll see susreime going for a Shine Spark here. That'll drain his health to where it needs to be. Now he's going to use the grapple beam to wedge himself into this wall. Like, just like that, and now he's going to do the crystal flash, which is going to have him standing up now so he can do some x-ray climbing. And he hits that door transition and successfully backdoors into gravity. And Hypo doing the same thing now. Looks like his positioning's good. It should work. I didn't really explain what x-ray climbing is, but basically when you're wedged into a wall like that, if you are in a crouched position, activate x-ray, turn around and turn off x-ray during that turnaround animation. Samus is forced into a standing pose and is actually pushed up a little bit. So when you're inside of a wall like that, you can slowly climb up walls, and you'll see that in a lot of glitch categories. And you can use it out of bounds as well to do some crazy transitions and get into some areas way earlier than you're supposed to be able to get into them. But in this case, it's all in bounds, so no major glitch there, really. And with that missile pack and reserve tank, they don't need to go through the bowling area. They can just clean up the rest of the ammo and energy tanks here in Rex ship. And then it's just some cleanup from there before they head into Torian. One thing I do want to note too is the crystal flash trick they did to backdoor gravity. You actually can't do that with the other route where you don't get the gravity suit before the GT code. Reason being, most of the items actually don't appear in the wreck ship until it's turned on. After you beat Phantoon, when the wreck ship actually powers up. So that trick would be useless if they hadn't already beat Phantoon. But since they did that, they can utilize that trick in this route, which is pretty neat. All right, got another little high five from them. Going to the spiky room of death. This item Hypo is picking up is really annoying when the ship's on. When the ship's off, those spiky platforms don't move around, but now he has to maneuver around them a little bit. All right, I want to pay special attention to susreime right now, going through attic, doing some really crazy strats, mixing in ammo, beam shots, and even his grapple beam to touch some of those electric sparks, defeating all the enemies in that room in order to gain access to this room and pick up this missile pack. Wreck ship is a very good example of how different this route is to 100%. What the type of strategies you can do with all the items in the game. So he's actually gonna have to. Oh no, you're okay. You already opened the door. I was gonna say he skips enemies. Another beautiful strat though. Oh, tried to do some spring ball bouncing up into this missile, but hit that platform unfortunately. But with that, susreime has picked up all of the wreck ship items. Now at this point, with all the bosses down, oh, there's one more, the ocean missiles, easy to forget. With that, he just needs to go pick up all the rest of the items he hasn't picked up yet, and then move towards Torian for his last set of boss fights. All right, I'm interested what strat susreime's gonna use here to get in the gauntlet. I hope he does what I think he's gonna do. So he's gonna. Oh my god! Wow, I didn't know he did that. That's crazy. So he oh no! So he got a blue suit from that ledge, and then space jumped all the way through the door, shot open the door, and tried to carry that speed booster through the next rooms with the spring ball, but unfortunately didn't get it. That was crazy though. Most people don't shoot the door open like that. They do use a different trick that Hypo is probably going to use. So we'll see how Hypo handles this. I think he's going to do a wraparound shot. Yeah, so I don't have time to explain all this right now, but essentially, if Hypo shoots the shot correctly, he will magically open the door that susreime shot open earlier to get in the gauntlet. Essentially, it's something to do with copies of the room or something. Someone in chat will explain it. But he opened that door with that shot, and he's going to do a shine spark through that open door now, breaking all these blocks, getting through gauntlet. Certainly a cool trick. It's no spring balling through, but very consistent. So at this point, they really just need to go back through the Brinstar area, do a loop through the green, pink, and blue Brinstar areas to pick up the remainder of those items, and that'll spit them out right back at Criteria, close to G4, where they can finish the run out. I would assume I would assume a lot of these strats are going to look the same as in typical 100%, although they are looping around the other direction, so we'll probably see some unique stuff as well. Susstream's going to pay a little visit to the Edakuns in here now. There is a power bomb pack in this room that he'll have to pick up.
後で助けますね、ちゃんと。
We'll see Decora's, hopefully.
最終的にどうなってるんですかね。
Maybe we'll see them.
ちょっと上の方
I
の
hope
確
not.
認をお願いします。
Well, yeah, we'll see him later on. We won't see him soon.
サムスにいわゆるテクニックを身をもって教えてくれるっていうね。やっぱアクションゲームだからこうなんて言うんでしょうね。こう会話ウィンドウみたいな感じじゃなくて、そのまんま教えてくれるっていう。あで
Yeah, susreime not gonna miss the Decora now, but he's gonna continue through the Big Pink, pick up this missile pack, grab a power bomb pack in the next room. We gotta get Spore Spawn Supers, gotta get the Waterway E-Tank, some other goodies while we're here. And susreime gonna be doing a cool trick here where he quick drops over that crumble block and is able to get back up quickly enough to wall jump up that hole. Fell a couple times, but manages to recover. Nicely done. Oh, and susreime doing a cool trick here. So even though Spore Spawn has a super missile pack that you normally have to beat him to obtain, there's actually a way, if you position yourself just right, to shoot the super in a way where it hits the block off screen. That's sort of at the end of that passageway. You're not supposed to be able to backdoor it like that, but with the precise positioning, it works out. And oh, he goes for a cool speedball strat out of there, but doesn't get it. Now he's going to be heading to Waterway again. Can skip all those major items, so doesn't need to grab that charge beam. He already has one. Using a speed booster, you can break these blocks, grab that energy tank. And that is it for Big Pink for susreime. He's going to need to grab the pipe missiles in here in Green Hills, and then he'll head right up to Blue Brinstar to finish the rest of the item collection. Hypo also getting that backdoor Spore Spawn. We'll see if he has a cool exit strategy. Nah, that's the standard Hundo one. Still looked pretty good though.
わずかですね、アイテム回収。
And now susreime coming up to the Billy Mays room, which we call it the Billy Mays room because look, here's a missile pack. But wait, there's more. Another missile pack.
通常攻略だとなかなか取り逃しそうなところです。
Oh, susreime getting a nice space jump through that door. I think he was trying to mock ball or bounce ball or something, but fortunately got hit by the enemy. No, a cool thing he's doing is he's going to charge a shine spark before getting on that elevator. And the shine spark timer actually doesn't run out during this elevator ride, so as soon as he gains control, it'll pick up right where it left off, and you can do a shine spark through the next room. Now he'll go right below Old Mother Brain Tank, pick up this missile pack. And he should only have 2 items left, the Criteria Supers and the 230 pack, which I guess in max percent should be the 330. I can't math right now. It's not going to be his 230th missile. Oh, beautiful space jumping over those boyons? Yeah, they're boyons. Picks up those Criteria soups. It's heading out. Now I'm going to pick up his 230, but not really 230 missile pack. 325, thanks. Thank you, chat. The 325 missile.
このアイテムが普段100%とか発すると最後のアイテムになりますね。はい。マックスパワーちょっとだけ違います。はい。
So with that susreime done with the item collection, he can head. Oh wait, there's still there's still the Terminator tank. I forgot. And a lot of randomizer players forget about it too. So that is the final item. Getting a fresh refill before heading to G4, because you know these guys definitely need 21 E-tanks in order to survive this area. So now susreime gets a little break here at the G4 cutscene. And then we're going to see some really cool strategies to take down all the Metroids. And maybe even a cool baby skip. We'll see.
現世界記録チャートだと、はい、クレイドを先に倒してからリローに向かいます。なので、ファントゥーンは一番最後に出ますね。なるほど。
So with the full loadout like this, you can just zoom through the Metroid rooms, but in order to defeat them quickly, you need to freeze them and then shoot them with ammunition. So doing these rooms quickly is very difficult if you know how the controls work for this game with switching between your beams and your ammo. It's very tough. And susreime actually taking off his suits here. Which, interesting. I definitely know why he took them off. I'm just taking my time to explain it.
さあ、あとはちょっとしたイベントですね。まあ、ミイラ化してるこうモンスターを見て、なんだこれはみたいな感じですね。
Yeah, he probably took them off so he can damage himself more quickly here. Having 21 tanks is a lot.
このまあ、成長したビビンメトロイド、ここまで成長
In the event they fail baby skip, they would lose a lot more time having to get drained of all that extra energy. And also, if they're going to be doing stand up, they could get into a dangerous situation where, well, maybe not dangerous, but a tough situation where draining down to the right amount of energy could be difficult with 2100 energy.
はいまあ、1回で、まあ、1.5秒ぐらい
So, you know, like I said, he's put a lot of time into this category. He knows a lot about it. I trust what he's doing.
で、残り1になったところでこう、あ、これサムスだって分かって、あ、で、ゼーブタイトスキップも行きましたね。本来赤いやつがいるはずなんですけれども、1匹目スキップするとそれ以降出てこないっていうね。まあ、スキップしたやつ以降出てこない。まあ、1匹目が難しい場合、まあ、2匹目でスキップするというパターンもあります。まあ、その場合は当然3匹目以降出てこないという形ですね。
With that, susreime, done with Mother Brain 1, continues to drain some of his energy in that acid. Now he's set up really well to do stand up once he finishes Mother Brain.
のプラズマ20発ですかね。これを攻撃当たらないように。この攻撃がちょっとね、ギリギリまで引きつけて爆発するやつ。
Same deal as Ridley with this beam combo, only 20 charge shots. It's usually over pretty quickly. Should see Mother Brain's catch up beam attack. There it is. That's a good sign the fight's almost over. And now what susreime's going to do, in this particular situation where he doesn't have any suits on, he just needs his energy to be between 700 and like 938 or something like that. And after he gets hit with Mother Brain's Rainbow Beam like he just did, he can stand up, and this next cutscene with the baby Metroid will still trigger. So he is able to move around during this cutscene, and he'll actually be able to damage Mother Brain 3 before you're supposed to be able to damage her. And if you do the trick well enough, it only takes one hyper beam shot to take down Mother Brain 3.
本来はレインボービーム食らって、まあ、サムス動けないみたいな状態でこれを見守るんですけど、これなんとですね、これ動いてまた攻撃することができてしまう。はい、でハイポさんの方はこれ体力吸収されちゃったので回復ポイントで元に戻して、で、まあ、本来はこれ回復するはずなんですけど、これメトロイドごと動いて。
Yeah, this stand-up is probably extremely easy, because Mother Brain actually, or not Mother Brain, the baby Metroid actually has to refill your energy all the way back up to max before it detaches, and having that extra 7 energy tanks gives you a lot of leeway to do this correctly. Oh, it's susreime. Getting some funky graphics, but it's all good.
バリア状態だと180、グラビティスーツつけてると100っていうのがそのバリアスーツだと確か100だった。あ、そうです。まあそこでいわゆる敷地がありましてね。
So with that, susreime is done with Mother Brain. All he has to do is escape the planet, and he will take away this race. Hypo starting on Mother Brain 2 now, same deal, 20 charge shots. His stand-up's going to be a little bit different, having... I don't think he took Barrier off. Maybe he did. But either way, with the suits on, he needs to have at least 7 energy tanks, but somewhere between 700 and 800 energy to do the setup correctly. So yeah, he's at 746. That's good. Once he takes this rainbow beam, looks like he did take off area. So he just needs to damage himself a little bit to get below 100. And he is good to go with his stand-up. Meanwhile, susreime finishing out the escape, coming up the parlor. Shortly will be in landing site. Oh, before he does that, though, I forgot. He's going to save the animals. We saw the Edakuns earlier. We're going to see him again. And the Decoras. susreime's going to shoot that block out, set them free. Make his way back up to the gunship. And with that, susreime has finished with a 128.50 according to the screen. So good game, susreime. Very nice run showing off that really crazy route, even with the difficulties he had at the start. Managed to pull it off. Very well done. Meanwhile, Hypo doing that stand-up glitch. Looks like it's going okay. She's already changing color because he has 2100 energy. So that'll be a one-shot Mother Brain 3.
ということで、これゲーム内のクリアタイムの表示もありまして、まあ現実世界とやっぱ結構違うんですけども、これ50分というタイムですね。
I don't know if Hypo's gonna save the animals. Maybe he will. I'm not sure. I think they both were gonna do it. I'm not sure if susreime was the only confirmed one. I believe there was a poll on whether they should save or not. Correct. susreime did skip area. He did got early X-ray and then did X mode to get through bowling. And Hypo doing that final spark up the climb. Gonna go through the parlor. Probably save the animals and get. Yep, there he goes. Heading for those animals. And here we go, Hypo coming up on the ship, finishing with a 131.44. GG to Hypo. And again, great game from both these guys, susreime and Hypo. I don't know if the command's there, but if you're not following these guys, you should. They're really good at Super Metroid. Both showing us a really cool category. There's their Twitch links in there in chat. Drop them a follow. And that was Super Metroid Max Percent GT code. Once again, this is the RTA in Japan Marathon, hosted live in Tokyo. This is the English restream hosted here on Speed Gaming. You can find the actual restream over on, I believe RTA in Japan is the name of the Twitch channel. But it looks like Speed Gaming is going to be hosting some English restreams throughout the whole marathon, which runs right up until the end of the month. So make sure you stick around and watch all those. There's that 135%. Oh, thank you, Asder, for correcting the link. So yeah, once again, great game for both of these runners. Very cool category. Appreciate them showing it off. I'm glad I got the opportunity to commentate this run for them, even though I didn't know some of the things susreime was doing, but awesome run, guys. But I will end it there. I forget what game's coming up next, but we'll have some more English commentary for you guys. I hope you all enjoy the rest of the marathon. So with that, hope everyone's having happy holidays, and we will see you next mission.
用意してきたので、今年はまた2020年はまた取り返せたらいいなと思います。
はい。こういうね、どんどんとチャートも更新はされていってるんですけど、非常に今日はね、見どころのあるような、お二方でやはり、違うチャートかつ、それなりの大技があるっていうところでね、見せていただきました。本当にトップバッターを走るにふさわしいゲームでしたね。
ありがとうございます。スーパーメトロイド海外ではかなり、競技性が盛んなゲームなんですけど、国内では奏者が数えるほどしかいないので、これを機に皆さんも。
そうですね。
大体秋葉原で2500円ぐらいですね。もしくは、スーファミミニにも入ってます。ちなみにサセレムさんの方はなんとね、欧米の版のスーファミミニですかね。はい。最後のハイボさんの数字を見て、確認して本当に終わりと。
よかった。
はい。
お疲れ様です。
ありがとうございました。
じゃあこちらに書いてある言葉で終わりましょうか。
せーのでいきます。
はい。せーの。See you next mission.
ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。